Hey everyone at Lighthouse, I hope you're all having a really great week. Today I'm going to be reading from Ephesians 2, looking particularly at verses 1 to 2. And as I've been reading this, I really feel like God's been reminding me of something that, I felt quite convicted by it, and I'd love to share it with you, maybe as a reminder, but as something maybe that you feel convicted by too. So I'm just going to read this verse for us. Made alive in Christ. As for you, you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of this world and the ruler of the kingdom of the air, the spirit who is now at work in those who are disobedient. Let me just read that again. As for you, you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live when you followed the ways of this world and the ruler of the kingdom of the air, the spirit of who is now at work in those who are disobedient. I wanted to read that again just because in some ways that was what happened to me when I read that. As you notice, I might have emphasised the word you, because as I was reading that, I felt like that's what God did to me after I read that a second time. The first time I read it, I think, and I'm guilty of doing this a lot, when I read the Bible, I just kind of read it in the context that this verse was written, not really relating it to me whatsoever. And then as I read it again, I felt like God really highlighted the word you to me. As for you, Connor, you were dead in your transgressions and sins. As for you, insert name, you were dead in your transgressions and sins, in which you used to live. I felt quite challenged by this. And I think what God is trying to say to me, to us, is don't take your salvation lightly. I think over the period of time that we've been in, this sort of weird time where maybe we've become a little bit lazy or felt like there hasn't been much to do. I've definitely become a bit spiritually lazy, and there's been days where I haven't woken up, completely overwhelmed by the joy of the Lord. And I'm sure that's the same for some of us here too. But I think God really wanted to remind me that, before you knew me, Connor, this was you. You were lost. You were this broken person. You've done things that you've sinned against me. Whether you know them all or not, you've sinned against me. Don't take your salvation lightly. And I don't think it's a telling off at all, but I really feel like God just wanted to remind me and all of us, and I think it's a reminder for all of us, that through the death and resurrection of Jesus, that is the only reason that we have the freedom that we have, and that's the only reason that we can live life to its fullest, because we're all sinners, we're all broken, we all know that. If you don't know that, welcome to the club. But we're all broken, and we've all sinned against God. But the great thing is that Jesus died on the cross and rose again, so that we don't have to pay the price for those sins and those transgressions. And now that we know him, we can live in that freedom that he gives. That's the good news. That's the joy that comes from it. But I think this verse for me, it was a gentle reminder from God that this is the life that I used to live before I fully gave my life to him. And I know that I'm still going to have times where I'm probably disobedient and I'm not going to get it right and I'm going to mess up, but I'm made alive in Christ. Because he went to the cross and died, he took everything that I did wrong in the past, he took it to the cross, he paid the cost, and he rose again just to prove it, just because he could. And I think that's amazing, and I think it's a reminder to us again that the reason we have this freedom and this life that we have is because of that. So I don't know about you, but it's really made me think that I want to just come before God and kind of humble myself and say, Lord, I'm sorry for the things that I've done to sin against you. Lord, I'm sorry for the mistakes I've made to sin against you, Lord. Help me not to take this salvation salvation lightly. Help me to live life to all its fullest. It might be that you want to take time to pray after this video just to do that. But this life that God gives us, it's a gift, it's a blessing, and it's because of him that we're able to live it to its fullness. Have a great rest of your week, guys. See you later.